Hello, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dalbir Himta, and I have taken a very special poem for you today. And the name of the poem is a photograph, and which is written by SHIRLEY Toulson. Do you know anything about SHIRLEY Toulson? Okay, I will let you know that who is and who was SHIRLEY Toulson. SHIRLEY Toulson born on 20th May 1924 in Manly on Thames, England. She was the daughter of Douglas Horsfall Dixon and Marjorie Brown. She was very passionate. She was very passionate for the creative writing, and her father was a writer also. She was much influenced with him, and not only that, but also he was so much influenced with Celtic Christianity, which can be which you can see and which reflected in her major work like Celtic Alternative, which published in 1987, and Celtic Years, which published in 1993, which brought her into the limelight, which added fame as a reputed writer to her. Now come to the poem, the photograph. Photograph is a very beautiful poem. What is photograph? Well, nowadays we use it selfie. Photograph is about impermanence of life. The poem also saying the same thing that photograph tells the same thing in what way? That photograph is not just a positive print which is recorded by a camera. It is rather a captured moment which later become beautiful memory. It holds those moments which might never get back. The same here in the poem, we could see that how the poetess, how Shirley Toulson saw the photograph, and having been seen that photograph, and she is wailing here, and she is, you see, recreating that scene. How my mother was used to take that joy at in the water, how cousins were paddling in the water, how they were taking the photographs, and how their the face was so beautiful, especially when I was not born, and how uncle is taking their photograph, and how this the vast ocean and that beach, and over the beach their transit feet are being washed, and how after 30 years later my mother used to took out that photograph and show us and try to tell us how our parents used to addressed us for the holiday, beach holiday and sea holiday, and now how everything is over because she is no more in this world, and how I have learned to live life with the realities, and how the memory of my mother made me speechless. And these are something about in the poem that we could see. How? Let's try to find out. The cardboard shows me how it was. कार्डबोर्ड मीन्स द गत्ता एक तरह का है. कार्डबोर्ड को देख के मुझे पता चलता है कि हाउ these two girls who was when the two girl cousin went paddling, how these two cousins, दो चचेरी बहनें, were paddling the water at beach side, and each one holding one of my mother's hand. Each one, every girl has hold my mother's hand. फिर दोनों ने मदर का एक एक हाथ पकड़ा हुआ है, and they were paddling with others. All stood still through all three stood still, smile through here, smile, all stood three, three girls, all three were stood silent there for what purpose, and they were smiling through their hair. Why? It may be there a wind, and because of the wind their hair has come over her face, and smile could be seen through the hair as uncle was taking her photograph, and in the photograph we could see their smile through their hairs, and my mother was looking so beautiful as it was the photograph of at that time when I was not in this world, and now she is talking about the sea which has changed less with the time. And this is the sea which is washing the short or momentarily transient footprint of these girls and my mothers. इट मीन्स कि भी वर्षों से ये जो समुद्र है ये बहुत कम बदला हुआ है एंड एट दिस टाइम एंड दिस सी इज वॉशिंग द फुटप्रिंट ऑफ शॉर्ट लिव्ड transit, short lived footprint, the washing from there. And after 20-30 years later, she would say, after 20-30 years, you know, she would say here means mother. Poetess mother took out that photograph and show her daughter. And now because now she was the daughter, the mother of a daughter, Shirley Toulson here. Okay. She showed the photograph to her daughter. Look, beta, dekho, see this, and see Dolly, how we were taking the joy at beachside. How our parents dressed up for the beach and the sea holidays. She used to do all these things. And when she used to do all these things, I feel so happy. She laughed at that photo. And now here everything is past. सब चीज़ें ख़त्म हो गया है, इतिहास हो गया है. उसकी हंसी, उसके ड्रेसअप, उसका जो भी था वो बीच पे जाना, ये एवरीथिंग इज नाउ अ पास्ट. Now here mine is her laughter and my laughter that I used to be when she showed the photograph to us. Both lie with the liberties of loss. Both here means mother and the poetess. As far as concerned about the mother, she was disappointed with that time because she has lost her childhood and now she is in her womanhood and she had a daughter and wailing over, and she was disappointed with that hard time that she is living today as she has lost her childhood. So that it is very difficult to her, but she has learned that. And here the poetess also missing that time and that company which she used to at her childhood with the mom and with the you see here with the mother. She also had lost that innocent. The poetess face had turned very wry after losing the joy of that her childhood. So to the poet's face has turned wry after losing her the joy of his mother's company as well. They have now come out of that difficult time and they have learned to live with the reality. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. Now अब उसको मर के कितना टाइम हो गया है भी, जितने वर्ष वो जी उतने ही जीना. यहाँ मतलब कहने का मतलब है कि 12 साल तक की एज को दे कंसीडर द जीना. Yes, they lived their the best life, and afterward you entered into the womanhood. And now उसको मर के भी लगभग अब इतने ही साल हुए हैं, 12 साल हो चुके हैं. And of this circumstances there is nothing to say. And now if you asked anything about that memories and about that time, I have nothing to say. I can't say anything. It made me speechless because its silence silences. क्योंकि जो इसकी चुप्पी है ना, it made me stunned. So this was your first poem in which we come to know that how here she is missing her mother. Poetess is missing her mother. She is no more. She's looking this photograph, watching this photograph. She see how that everything has gone. Now I have nothing to say.